guardians of pedophiles. They're Team Taco, fake-ass patriots. The Trump supporters. Yeah, guardians of pedophiles. That's the GOP, ain't it? That's what it stands for. These days, that's definitely what it stands for. The guardians of pedophiles, because that's what you're doing right now. You're guardianing up on some pedophiles. The whole damn party is, yeah. About every Republican in Congress is protecting up on some pedophiles right now. And y'all still support them. Still support them. And the reason why they're doing that, well, probably because they got a $17 million taxpayer-funded slush fund there of hush money. That's part of it. And part of it is your orange Jesus there, Donald F. and Trump. Is, it turns out the Wall Street Journal reported again, Pam Bondi told him back in May that his name was all over them files. But see, he already knew that because he was diddling on little girls with Jeffrey Epstein. So he knew they was going to be in there. But anyway, so he's protected on that stuff right now, and so are y'all, which makes you the guardians of pedophiles. That's what you're doing. See, the Democrats were in there trying to introduce amendments into these bills and stuff to force Republicans to release all the Epstein files. That's what was happening. And they were doing that for you. The Democrats were working for you because they had seen y'all out there for years now demanding that those files be released. And they're like, you know what? These poor people out there ain't getting what they want from the people that they voted for. We'll step in and go ahead and help them out and get them files out there for them. That's what the Democrats were trying to do for you there. And you're still hating on Democrats. See, you're on the wrong team's the problem. Maybe nobody told you that. You're on the wrong team. That's what happened. I can give you several examples of why. See, one, if it were Democrats that you had voted for, you wouldn't have just had all of your Medicaids taken away and your food stamps and your Section 8 housing, and we wouldn't have lost a bunch of veterans benefits and any number of things that they did to all of us wouldn't be happening right now. But you keep voting for Republicans. And I understand why. It is your racisms. I mean, you know it is. But anyway, the thing is now you're defending pedophiles. And that right there, there ain't no bridge too far for you, is there? Just ain't. See, that Speaker of the House of Gilead, Commander Mike Johnson, sent the Congress home early because they were trying to force them to release all the Epstein stuff, for y'all. And the Democrats are doing it for y'all. And so anyway, Trump was told there back in May, that's the reason why that he turned around and said there wasn't no files anymore. See, and we was wondering, wasn't you? I mean, you was wondering, I already knew, you were wondering, why would he lie to you like that? Right there's your answer right there, because he's all over those files. And you don't even have to really need the files. All the information's already out there for you. I mean, you can go look up Katie Johnson 2016 interview right here on the YouTubes, and she'll tell you everything you need to know. There's actually the court documents. You can just look them up. They're in PDF, so you can download them, read them, You can do all that. Jane Doe versus Donald F. and Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. You can look those up. It's Jane Doe and Tiffany Doe. Telling the story, and it's funny how that they the story they told back then matches identically to what was going on there with Jeffrey Epstein and all the little girls and stuff before it was ever made public to the public. So somehow she still knew about the whole operation before we ever knew what was going on. So it kind of makes it hard to say she's lying, don't you think? That's if you was to go look it up and watch it, but you won't do that because you're the guardians of the pedophiles. You're not going after them like you pretended you was, like you cared about the kids and stuff. Never cared about the kids at all. All you did was what you cared about, hating on Democrats and stuff, because if you hate on Democrats, what that does is lumps everybody together. Then you can hate on black people, brown people, gay people, everybody. You can just hate on everybody, the Democrats. It makes it easier for you. Consolidates it for you. So you was wanting them files because you wanted it as a weapon, thinking it was just going to be a bunch of Democrats. Well, apparently not, because they're the ones wanting to release all that stuff. Now, here's the thing there, guardians of pedophiles, is that that Ghislaine Maxwell there sitting in prison right now, at first, word was going around that Donald F. and Trump might commute her sentence, might give her a pardon. Only way that would happen is if she went out there in the front of the Congress and testified and said Donald F. and Trump didn't have nothing to do with it, So to make her lie about it, even though all of the files and documents and history and facts and reality say differently, we're going to have her go out there and lie on his behalf. for a pardon. Well, now then, she's saying that she's in fear for her life. She's thinking that she might go out the same way Epstein did. And you know what she said? And she knew Epstein real well, almost as good as Donald Trump knew him, that he wasn't suicidal. He wasn't that something happened to him. And see, now then that Todd Blanche is trying to sneak in there to the prison with her. Pam Bondi said she's going to go in there herself. So they might be looking for ways, you know what I mean? Ways to turn cameras off for an hour or two. You know what I mean? So anyway, so she's real worried now that she might get herself killed there because of this thing. So I'm not real sure that she's going to work on behalf of Donald F. and Trump. But how do y'all feel about that there, Team Taco, Guardians of Pedophiles, if he was to try to pardon her for a good lie to tell everybody, huh? I mean, you're guardianing up on some pedophiles, aren't you? I mean, that means you're on her team, though, right? You're on her team now. Because you think about it like this there, Team Taco. Remember how y'all talked about all the transgendered folks and stuff in bathrooms? You just can't believe that transgender people have to go to the bathroom, and you can't wrap your head around that. Well, now then, I've got a problem here because all the women MAGA supporters that are still supporting Donald F. and Trump, knowing that he's a pedophile, and knowing what he did with Jeffrey Epstein to these little girls, over 1,000 victims, the fact that he still has women supporting him makes me afraid for any of my kids or any female to go into a women's bathroom because they could be recruiting on little girls, Yeah, MAGA women could be recruiting on some little girls now. We don't know. Chances are they probably are because they're supporters of pedophiles, Their whole party is Guardians of Pedophiles. And if you're voting for Guardians of Pedophiles and you're still standing behind the Guardians of the Pedophiles, even knowing what they're doing with the cover-up of the biggest sex trafficking operation in American history, and you're still standing behind those people, means you can't be trusted around kids. That's what it means. So I'm concerned about little girls going into public bathrooms now because of MAGA women. They could be recruiting on them, lying to them, saying, we're going to give you a modeling job and stuff like that, just to take them over to some pedophile's house, That's probably what's going on. So I'm more concerned about them than I am the transgender folks, because I did the math up on the transgender ones there, and you would have to wait for 2 million people to go to the bathroom before one person was victimized by a transgender person, So that's a lot of people. Now, with MAGA women there going into the bathrooms and stuff, the chances now, because they're guardians of pedophiles, of a kid getting attacked there by a MAGA woman go up exponentially now, because guardianing up on the pedophiles, that y'all support pedophilia big times, what I'm telling you, because you were the ones that was going after all of this, accusing Democrats of being pedophiles. And it turns out it's your whole damn party is the pedophiles. The Republican Party guardianing up on some pedophiles. Donald Trump, pedophiles, what he is. And he's all in those documents that you was wanting to see that you don't want to see anymore, right? You don't want to see those documents anymore. Now you're worried about what Barack Obama did 10 years ago. Oh, I can answer that question for you. He was being president, what he was doing. He did nothing wrong. And it's in those documents. Hey, matter of fact, since they released them, you can feed that thing to the AI and say, hey, did Obama do anything wrong? You know what the AI says? No, damn sure didn't do it. The AI will say, tell you what this does look like? Witch hunt. That's what it looks like. It looks like deflection and a witch hunt. But y'all fell for it, though. And that was the point. And Donald F. and Trump knew that you would. That's the reason why he did it. Him and Tulsi Gabbard, was because, well, the one thing you hate more than anything, black people, especially a black president. So all we had to do was say that, and you got there chasing his little laser pointer again, like the pussies that you are. All right. But anyway, I just want to let you know you're forever the guardians of pedophiles, the GOP. That's what you are from now on until you get off that Trump train. And hey, I don't even know if that's going to change anything at this point. All right. Inmate Trump.